professional certified coach, and I am the founder of the Corey Robertson Coaching Academy for Leaders. I hope we have a good connection. It looks to me a little bit like it's buffering, so I hope it's coming through nicely. And I can't see any comments or any emojis. So I hope you're there, and I hope that I'm coming through loud and clear. So as I was saying, I'm Corey. Welcome to my office. This is my home office. I don't receive clients here, so this is an opportunity to share my space with you. I hope that that you also have settled into, the work from home scenario that so many people are dealing with on such a sudden basis. But I'm used to this, so I'm set up very well, and I'm very happy to share this space with you. And so today, what I wanted to talk to you about is what it means to be overextended, and bring in a little bit of a conversation around self-awareness. So let's start here. I want to share a little story. So when I was a little kid, I used to love going into the forest. I still love going into the forest. But when I was little, I used to go into the forest, and I used to look for big rocks, as big as I could manage. And I would like to turn the rock over, or the log even, and underneath, I don't know if you ever tried this, but underneath you often find ant colony just on the surface. The surface of their colony is just under the rock. So when you take the rock away, they all go scurrying. They grab their eggs, they run around, and they all go underground in a matter of seconds. 1 second is a thriving civilization on the surface, and within a few seconds, whoosh, they're gone. They grab everything and everyone. They get themselves organized, and they run for cover. And I feel that the COVID-19 situation has been like that for us, right? It's like all of a sudden the way we live and the way we work and everything we do feels so threatened, and we're forced to change very, very quickly. And it causes a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of stress, and a lot of feelings of overwhelm and overextension. Now, in my course, the Corey Robertson Coaching Academy for Leaders, where I teach coaching as a leadership style, I share a model that predicts how stressful a change will be for people. So those of you who are planning change and planning reinvention, when you have a chance to prepare, you have to balance off how much time do people have to get used to this idea, and how much control do they have over the idea of the change. The less time and the less control people have, the more difficult and the more stressful it's going to be for them. So in the case of the ants, when a person pulls the rock away, or the log away, it's like us having the roof ripped off our house, right? So it's very much like what happened now. COVID-19 came and sent us all ducking for cover, and we've all grabbed everything we need and everyone we need, and we're burrowing in for safety. So one of the things that, as a leader, you can consider is the sense of self-awareness. Now, last time I talked to you about human needs, resilience, and psychological safety. If you didn't have time to read that blog, it's posted on my website, www.coreyrobertson.com/blog. You can see that there. And you'll also find this blog that I'm talking about today. So for leaders, and leaders who have formal role authority, as well as informal leaders, so people who don't have direct reports but who are still expected to show up as leaders in their workplace culture, it's very important to be able to recognize yourself, to know who you are, to have a sense of what they call self-awareness. Self-awareness is one of the components of emotional intelligence. It's been studied for millennia. You can find references in the Christian Bible. You can find references, Socrates spoke about self-awareness. He said that self-knowledge is so available that all other pursuits are laughable unless one has self-awareness. You know, it's in Shakespeare. You know, Shakespeare said in Hamlet, to thine own self be true. And it doesn't take much Googling. You can find so many references going back to, you know, the beginning of the beginning of recorded history on this topic. And it's interesting because most people are not as self-aware as they think they are. But what happens is when you know better, you do better. Maya Angelou said that, and that was popularized by Oprah Winfrey, right? When you know better, you do better. So we always want to be expanding our sense of self-awareness so that we can function at a higher level, so that we can control our stress levels, we can better handle situations where we have very little time and very little control over a change that is presented to us, that we're forced to live with. So the way that I help my clients, and I help my teams, you know, in organizational effectiveness and in team effectiveness, to help them with their sense of self-awareness, I work with a tool called the Lumina Spark psychometric assessment. Now, psychometric is an industry term. The commonly known term for it is personality test. It's not a test. There's no right or wrong answer. There is no good or bad people. It's just an assessment to see how your strengths are showing up, and which strengths you use the most and which strengths that you don't claim so much. You know, the unclaimed strengths are, you know, what's often seen as, you know, diamond in the rough, or an opportunity for real potential to come through. And so what's interesting about the Lumina, and it's one of the, you know, it's the only tool that I know of, the only instrument that measures the 3 layers of the persona. So we all have 24 qualities. All humans have all of these qualities, but we use them, you know, to more or lesser extent, depending on one of the 3 human persona. So the 3 persona are your underlying persona. So that is who you are at your most natural self. That's your inner drive, that's your core motivator, and it's not necessarily the persona that you show to everybody all the time. The next layer is the everyday persona, and the everyday persona is the persona that you wear. It's the one that you choose to use in the moment, given the situation and the circumstances that you're in. So for example, you know, you will behave very differently at the boardroom table compared to how you would behave perhaps at a hockey game, right? There's different ways of behaving. There's different acceptable norms for how you are going to show up and behave, and which skills and which qualities you're going to demonstrate. And that's perfectly normal and natural. The third persona is overextended. So overextended is how we show up when we're stressed out, when we're exhausted, overwhelmed, when we're ill, when we're grieving, when we're taken by surprise. And this is really how where many people are right now due to the COVID-19 situation. There are so many reasons, legitimate, honest reasons, to be overextended right now. And it's super important to be able to recognize yourself in overextension and recognize others. And here's the trick, here's the fascinating thing. When a person is overusing their strength, it comes across as a fault or a weakness. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to come back and I'm going to dive into more detail about how to recognize that. So how to recognize the strength and how it will flip into overextension and appear as a fault or a weakness. So I'm going to let you go now. It's been about 10 minutes that I've been speaking. Yeah, it's been 9 minutes, so I'm going to go. So before I leave you, I want to thank you very much for being here. I am making it a habit to come online, share what I know, share what I can, to really, you know, broadcast this information on leadership, self-awareness, personal development, and coaching. You know, this stuff is all at the very core of the heart and soul and mind of a coach, of a professional coach. And these are the skills that I teach and the knowledge that I share so that you too can use coaching as a leadership style. So I am Corey Robertson. Like I said at the beginning, I am a professional certified coach, and I am the founder and CEO of the Corey Robertson Coaching Academy for Leaders. This article I'm referring to is at my blog, CoreyRobertson.com /blog. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow to talk more about this topic. So if you're interested, if you have questions, if you have comments, please write them down. We'll have a chance to take a look at them and prepare answers. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Stay safe.